Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and we are now live streaming here our third conversation for pre-launching DUNA DAO, which is Decentralized Unincorporated Nonprofit Association, and DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Acronym soup, I know. And joining with me here today is Tyler, my superpower. And I just want to take a moment to wish Tyler a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, my dear.
Thanks, baby.
So we've got some agenda planned today. And today we're going to be primarily talking about, and I'm going to just use the link here to, I'm going to actually refresh this because one of the things that I want to get better at is content surrounding our live streams. And we're actually recording this with the AI note taker. I was pretty impressed with how that this turned out last time using Fathom. And this is, I believe, our first time with our pre-launch conversation using this tool. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing here, and you can kind of see how I've got that highlighted on the agenda, and I'm going to make this slightly bigger for everybody on the other end. So I think I've got all the recording going, and one of the things that I'm going to do throughout this is mention a timestamp, and that's one of the cues that I can use to create elements, key elements, and that's one of the ways that we want to amplify our replay value content, especially on YouTube that has the largest audience for replay value by far. So one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and check off these first couple of items on our agenda here, and wanted to discuss and schedule the pre-launch conversation. It's seeming like that this is a really good time for the people that opted in. And one of the things that I've got is I think it's probably better, and Tyler and I were having some side conversations before we went live on this, as far as just putting this on people's calendars so that it's something for the people that opt into that. So that's something that we'll take offline and discuss with some of our core team as far as their thoughts on that. But right now, I think that it makes sense here, because one of the things wanting to do is work towards getting onboarding people during our pre-launch window with DUNA DAO, and having a weekly cadence for doing some pre-launch conversations is one of the things that I think that will make that a more successful launch. So scrolling down here, I already put on the radar for the next one. And this is one of the things that I can do that I think that will probably help potentially get some additional participation, is to get these pre-queued up a little bit ahead of time and promoted on various channels and stuff like that. So I'm going to, instead of doing a let us meet for next week, going to go ahead and just put that on the calendar for Thursday, June the 6th, in this same time slot, 1 to 2 p.m. So moving on to the next item here, this is a timestamp for us, and going to discuss our solutions, tools, and tech stack for DUNA DAO. And this is a table that I added in the reference section right here. One of the things that we are doing for chat, and we still have Discord set up, but it's not something that we're actively promoting. One of the functionalities that still exists within Discord that doesn't have that functionality yet, and this is an opportunity, Tyler, and to see if DWork can potentially add that functionality to Telegram. So we should check back with Lanus, see what he's building with DWork these days, and see if it's on their roadmap for adding the functionality to Telegram. And I know that Telegram has added some more Discord-like types of features within that app. So that's one of the things that, and just to provide some evidence behind that, is that I personally observed, at least from my perspective here, that the crypto Web3 ecosystem at large is shifting away from Discord towards Telegram. And I think that there may be various reasons behind that, but I don't know what all of those are, but that's one of the things that I've definitely observed. And over here on our Luma calendar, and this is one of the things that I would encourage everybody to take a look at, and more importantly is subscribe to. And this is one of the things, like you can see here, that I've personally subscribed to this. So if you haven't subscribed to our DUNA DAO calendar on Luma, please do that. That way that you can make sure that you have the opportunity to participate in some of these events that we host them. So like I said, I'll be getting the pre-launch conversation number 4 scheduled at the same time next week. So, and these are some of the other channels that we're leaning on as far as just to get the word out about what we're building and stuff like that. And those are fairly obvious. So one of the things that going to be adding to this table is Web3 growth channels. And one of the things that we stood up here this week on Monday was we actually created our Charmverse space. And one of the things that I got working was the subdomain. So we've got our Charmverse on a custom domain here at community.dunadao.org. And it took me here to the members, and you can see, and this is something, Tyler, please sign up and go through the process of onboarding here. And give me any feedback what that looks like from your perspective. So task management, already mentioned a little bit. So this is one of the things here as far as creating content. And you know, Tyler, that we've had a lot of conversations surrounding creating content. And this is kind of a question mark. We're right now largely looking at high level, which is going to have a WordPress multi-site backend. But that's one of the things that we're still unpacking. And one of the things that's still a question mark is, what do we want the content to look like? And now that we have this AI tool, the opportunity to take the information that we receive from the AI tool to very easily create written content from an SEO standpoint is a very real opportunity. So let's have some side conversations on that, Tyler. And then one of the things that I really like is Paragraph. I really think that Paragraph is the right solution to do a newsletter. And there's a possibility that we may want to use that for a blog, but I don't think it's probably as good of a tool for SEO. And this is where we really, again, need to have some side conversations and maybe even have a specific tools working group around, and whether it's a tools working group or a working group series surrounding content. One of the things, Tyler, that we've had a lot of conversations about is getting better at content. Now that we're leading into our Fathom AI note taker, the opportunity to easily have content, written content from our live stream. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking, Tyler, and let you chime in any thoughts surrounding this blog and newsletter.
I think it's really exciting. I know we've been talking about content for a long time. So yeah, I'd like to get a content calendar going and also figure out all the repurposing, tweets, carousels, LinkedIn, all that. But yeah, I'd like to get a content calendar going and get it going.
Yeah, and that's the kind of workflow that we should definitely be documenting in Charmverse here on community.dunadao.org as far as what that looks like. And not just a content calendar, but again, the biggest opportunity that I see is making better use of our live stream content, because we're already creating a lot of content through that. Like this now is our 3rd pre-launch conversation. We've had a tools working group. So we've already done 4 pieces of content. We just haven't put that on platforms that we own in a written manner. And now that we've got an AI note taker tool that we're leaning behind, that opportunity, as I already mentioned, is there. And one of the reasons that I like paragraph.xyz, and this goes back to Farcaster. And let me just open this up in another tab. So this is where you can also follow our DUNA DAO channel on Farcaster. And this is one of the things that I'm a lot more confident about Farcaster and Warpcast. They just received here within this month 150 million of venture capital funding. So they've got funding to really go the distance and become a social media platform powerhouse within the Web3 ecosystem. And there's a lot of people that are using that are building on Base are also participating here on Farcaster as well. So that's something that we'll likely be having more conversations about in the future. So anyway, getting back to our agenda, and this is a timestamp for our next section here. So discuss movement marketing. So I actually have that tab open over here. How to build a successful movement in 4 steps. And one of the underlying reasons of why that we're launching DUNA DAO is I see DUNA as a vehicle for tokenizing real world assets. And the main project that building here, and this is one of the things that you can see over here on my own profile, is current project is Gigs Go Green. While definitely got more things in the pipeline than just Gigs Go Green, that's what primarily focused on. And Gigs Go Green is an engine for tokenizing real world assets. I'm not going to unpack that right now. DUNA, I do see as a vehicle for legal wrapping these tokenized real world assets. And we're planning to create a movement surrounding Gigs Go Green, and where that fits in, let me actually scroll down here. Scroller's not working for some reason. Anyway, I'll come back to this article later, maybe. So the movement marketing article was written by the author of, let me go here to Amazon, and the book on Amazon was New Power Book. So this is a book that I've been listening to, and New Power, How Anyone Can Persuade, Mobilize, and Succeed in Our Chaotic Connected Age. And you can see here it was written. So this was probably an article that they wrote in anticipation of launching their book, New Power. And where that fits into play, and one of the things that I was wanting to talk about here is, let me try a different browser here real quick. So scrolling down here, for any new power movement, identifying and cultivating the right connected connectors is often the difference between takeoff and fizzle. And step 1, find your connected connectors. Step 2, build a new power brand. Step 3, lower the barrier, flatten the path. And lower the barrier is one of the ways that we're doing that here with DUNA DAO is that we have created an Explorer NFT. And one of the things, going back to Paragraph, that I could see us doing is anybody that subscribes to our newsletter, or if we decide to use that as our blog, then we could actually airdrop them, give them an Explorer NFT, and that lowers the barrier as far as them participating in DUNA DAO here. And then step 4 is move people up the participation scale. And this is one of the things that I'm going to make this bigger here for everybody. So participation scale is and this is old power behaviors, new power behaviors. So like affiliating, that would be becoming a member, like exploring the Explorer, and then funding and producing. So one of the things that I want to create, and let me go back to the agenda here, is our 3 levels of participation within DUNA DAO. So we've already created an Explorer NFT. We have a member NFT, and this is, let's put free for life. This is currently $7 a year, USDC. And ambassador is TBD, thinking $40 a year. Now, one of the things that and I'm going to put over here, founding ambassador. So one of the things that I really want to embrace within our ecosystem at large is not having the ambassador be an additional cost. I really want that to be an included dynamic, but with us having such a low member barrier, with the goal of onboarding 100 members here by July 1st, and we'll see if we can get that delivered or not. But with ambassador, wanting to create a little bit of a barrier here right now so that we can kind of like build out this program. And one of the things that I'm thinking of is preventing other people, like the people that don't become an ambassador during pre-launch, is allowing the ambassadors like a 3-month time frame. And this is one of the things that we can potentially change later, but giving additional runway for the founding ambassadors to continue to demonstrate traction after we launch. But what are your thoughts on that, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's smart. It's good to give people choices.
So, and this is the Explorer member and ambassador. I think that these participation ladder, or what did they call it over here on the other book, participation scale. I think I like ladder a little bit easier because you think about climbing up a ladder. So anyway, we already had a little bit of discussion around the $40 a year, and I wrote that here. It's actually right here below on the next bullet point. So anyway, this will be a good timestamp to move towards the next thing on the agenda. I'm going to check these items off that we've already went through and discussed here. But here on our live stream working group, actually wanting to go through the process of creating the member NFT using unlockprotocol.com. And we're going to call this ambassador member NFT founding onchainambassadors.org with DUNADAO.org. So let me actually open up the profile for DUNA DAO. And this is where my computer might be struggling with too many open windows, Tyler. So we will see. So anyway, here's the DUNA DAO profile, DUNADAO.eth, and we're going to go to unlockprotocol.com and launch the app. Let me see if I'm signed in here. So I'm going to grab my password real quick for this Web3 wallet. Unlock. Oh. And launch the app. And as you can see, we've already created 4 different smart contracts using Unlock. We talked about our Explorer NFT, our founding member NFT, and now we're going to actually create our ambassador NFT. So let's actually do that. I'm going to create my own membership contract, and we are building on base. I'm going to grab the copy and paste verbiage over here. Lock name, founding onchainambassadors.org with DUNADAO.org. membership duration, and we're going to go 365 days. Number of memberships for sale, unlimited, USDC, and we're going to say $40. And the thought on that is $47. We may make the DUNA DAO membership be slightly more than $47. This is something that we can put forward as a vote to see what the value proposition is. But whether it's 47 or 69, I think that I would like to keep it around that after we launch officially. So let's go ahead and do next. Unlimited. Next. Currency and price looks good to me. Founding on-chain ambassadors with DUNADAO.org. Everything is spelled correctly here, right, Tyler? Let me actually just open this up in another window, because we're actually going to come back to this here in a moment after we create this, so it does correctly redirect to our link tree. Okay, looks good to me. See, this is one of the things that I've noticed here, and I saw a post by Jesse Pollock on Farcaster, like the transaction fee has gone down. I think the last time that I did something on here, and maybe it was a slightly different transaction, but look, it literally cost 1 penny to do the transaction fee to create this member smart contract to represent our on-chain ambassadors with DUNADAO.org. So Block was successfully deployed. I'm going to open this up, see on Block Explorer in another tab here, and there's some details as far as the transaction fee to create that. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the start managing it. So founding on-chain ambassadors with DUNADAO.org. And let me get the smart contract there, and let me look it up over here. Base scan. Oops, typo. So one of the things that I will configure here, not during the live stream, is the checkout workflow that will get added over here on our link tree for DUNADAO.org. And this is one of the things that we may put behind a member dynamic within our Charmverse, because when you think about workflow, right now, we don't want people to become ambassadors unless they're also a founding member. So having that on a some piece of content or some token gate, and I'll have to unpack what the token gating looks like in Charmverse, but the workflow that I want to create for the user journey is that people have to be a founding member before they can even obtain the ambassador NFT. Does that make sense, Tyler?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right. So we got our member NFT created here on Unlock Protocol. And before I go to the next section in our agenda, want to talk a little bit about on-chain ambassadors. I really think that this is the secret sauce for what we're building and the opportunity for us to create an economic incentive similar to leveraging affiliate marketing strategies. And I really think that there's a little better connotation as far as an ambassador than just an affiliate and an affiliate marketer. So one of the things that I want to create is to have an onboarding session, because one of the things that we want to foster is marketing responsibly. And that will be an ongoing conversation as we continue to aspire as responsible ambassadors for DAOs things, products, services that we're representing within the ecosystem. And one of the things that looking forward to having some side conversations with Charmverse ambassadors to really elevate the collective knowledge that the Charmverse ambassadors have for the benefit of the ecosystem at large. So that's something that I'm going to be having some side conversations to facilitate as well. And this ambassador program that we're creating here at DUNA DAO is something that we're looking to replicate within our ecosystem at large. And one of the other things that I kind of view DUNA DAO as I see this as a long-term mechanism for tokenizing real world assets within our own DAO ecosystem. I also want DUNA DAO to be where we can collectively experiment with the most bleeding edge technology. Out of everything that we're building, DUNA DAO is really the only DAO that's going to probably focus any efforts on onboarding existing Web3 natives in. So the ability for us to be a lot more nimble with experimenting with technology here in DUNA DAO is also kind of the vision for DUNA DAO, where we can sandbox experiment more fluidly than we can within some of our more traditional member associations within our DAO ecosystem that we're building it out. And did you want to have any thoughts, chime in, any thoughts on this on-chain ambassadors right now, Tyler?
No, I think we're gonna evolve it as it goes over time, but yeah, I like everything we're building so far.
Awesome. So I would say questions and answers and ensure next actions have been captured. And this is a timestamp here. We've got 15 minutes left in the hour, but since we don't have anybody else participating on the pre-launch conversation, do you have any questions right now, Tyler?
Yeah, are we ready to start onboarding people or what, or not yet?
So we really need to get the workflow. I mean, we do have over here on DUNADAO.org on our link tree where people can onboard as a founding member. And one of the things that we need to personally do right now, you and I are the existing founding members of DUNA DAO. And one of the things that we need to do is we need to go through and create the workflow for us to onboard as ambassadors. And then one of the things that we can do while we're working on creating our longer term base ecosystem, which it's increasingly looking like that's going to be high level, the opportunity for us to update the unlock protocol where we can add ourselves as affiliates after we onboard as founding ambassadors. We then can have our own URL where it gets credit. And I don't know exactly what that workflow looks like because this is something that we haven't implemented before, because really planning to move that functionality over to the WordPress multi-site backend and potentially have some different workflow. But we can absolutely, Unlock does have the capability for a single tier affiliate program that's basically built in. I don't know exactly what that looks like as far as from a functionality standpoint, but that's a conversation that I can take offline, do a little bit of research there with Unlock. So yeah, there's some things that we need to do but right now we do have this available on DUNADAO.org, which redirects to our link tree where people can become a founding member for $7. So yeah, did that answer that question?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I think that's it.
So one of the other things too, and I'll take this offline with you, Tyler, if we want to have the tools working group next week for our second tools working group, or if we want to move that down the road for setting up guild.xyz. But my next action is to get pre-launch conversations number 4 scheduled for next Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. But other than that, that's all the agenda that we had. We have an initial ambassador program set, and that's one of the things that will be a very iterative process within what we're building. But wherever that you're tuning in, make sure that you subscribe and connect up with me on the socials if you want to have some more conversations. And I also have on cal.com/yonks. If you want to grab a time slot, I do have some workflow set up here for DUNA DAO where you can grab and have a private conversation with me surrounding DUNA and what we're building here with DUNA DAO. So anyway, do you have any final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap here today, Tyler?
No, great job. Thanks for getting this organized.
Absolutely. And thank you for letting me do what I do. You are amazing. And again, happy birthday. Looking forward to spending the rest of the day with you after we got this work item checked off here. Bye, everybody.
That's good. Thanks.